the next 12 months, you're either going to move closer to the life you actually want, or you're going to stay exactly where you are right now, no matter how hard you work. And the difference won't be your talent or how much effort you put into it. It will be how your unconscious mind is programmed. If it's aligned with what you want, it will deliver it to you with precision. If not, it will quietly make sure you'll never get it. And that's because the most powerful force in human psychology is the need to act in alignment with your self-image. That's why out of the millions of different possibilities you could create, you somehow always return to your baseline. Your baseline simply means what your unconscious mind believes is safe for you to have. And if your dream life sits above that baseline, which for most of us it does, that's where the self-sabotage and the endless plateaus come from. So today, I'm going to show you how to turn your unconscious mind from a stubborn gatekeeper into a loyal servant that works night and day to bring you exactly what you want without fighting yourself in the process. I like to explain the mind through the ship analogy. So if you haven't heard it before, on the one hand, you have the self-conscious mind, also known as your ego, which is the thinking mind. So that's the captain of the ship. It is the one barking instructions and deciding where to go. Its job is to point to the horizon saying, that's our destination. On the other hand, you have the unconscious mind, which is technically the crew. So they are the ones keeping the ship running, managing the sail, paddling, etc. They are the doers. They follow instructions, maintain the vessel, and just make sure it keeps moving. And lastly, there's your superconscious. Now, this is what the crew has available to work with. The ship itself, the tools, the materials, the resources. Here's the catch. The crew can only work with what they've been given. If the superconscious has loaded the ship with outdated maps and like half-broken tools, you're not going to magically build a luxury yacht and set sail for, I don't know, Bora Bora. The crew will just keep fixing up the same old ship and running the same type of trips you've always taken, because that's all they have the ability to pull off based on the resources on board. But when you connect to the superconscious, which has unlimited resources, everything changes. You can rebuild the whole ship if you want. You can install the best navigation systems, pick any destination on the map, and equip the crew with everything they need to get there. Because if you don't, and the crew keeps running on outdated programming, they will keep steering you back to familiar waters, even if you made it clear that you want to explore the world. So your unconscious mind's number one priority is survival. Not progress, not happiness, survival. It's constantly scanning the world for one thing and one thing only. Am I safe? And safe here simply means familiar. Meaning, if it's been programmed to believe that 10K per month is safe, that becomes your baseline. Even if you suddenly make, let's say, 30K one month, your unconscious will start making subtle course corrections to bring you back down. Not because it wants to work against you, but because it's convinced that anything above your baseline is risky territory. This is why so many people lose weight only to gain it back, or make a windfall like winning the lottery and then blow it, or get into great relationships and then sabotage them. It's not a willpower problem. It's a self-image problem. If you see yourself as a 10K per month person, or someone who struggles in relationships kind of person, your unconscious will find ways to keep reality matching that identity. Maxwell Maltz, the author of Psycho-Cybernetics, explains that your unconscious mind works like a guided missile. Once it locks onto a target, your baseline, it will course correct back to it every single time. And unless you intentionally change the target, you will keep landing in the same place, just with different details around you. Now, there's actually another piece to this, which is the RAS, your Reticular Activating System. This is your brain's filter for what you notice and act on. Basically your selective focus. You know how when you decide you want a specific car, like a red Porsche, and suddenly you see them everywhere? Well, guess what? They were already there, your brain just wasn't looking for them. Same thing happens with opportunities. If your unconscious believes that 10K per month is your ceiling, your RAS will literally ignore 100K opportunities. And if one somehow still lands on your lap, your unconscious will find a way to reject it, saying it's not safe, because it's outside of your baseline. Next, I want to touch a little bit on self-sabotage, because this is the part that most people misunderstand. They think they are lazy, undisciplined, or broken. But the truth is, self-sabotage is never random. It's strategic. It's just your unconscious mind's way to try to protect you by throwing up some resistance. Maybe at some point in your life, going bigger was dangerous because it brought you criticism, or it came with rejection or loss. Your unconscious remembers that, and it assumes the same will happen again today. It's like an antivirus software blocking a safe file because it looks like an old virus. The intentions are good, but the programming is outdated. Real quick, if it makes sense for you so far and you want to skip the trial and error, I will personally walk you through reprogramming your unconscious so it works with you, not against you. There's a link below to join my free Superconscious Awakening community. Inside, I'll guide you through this step by step. So how do you reprogram your unconscious mind to become your loyal servant? This is the exact process I use with my clients. It's called the 5-step Superconscious Creator Code. Step 1, choose a true goal. Not something you think will fix you, something you genuinely want. If your dream is to own a yacht, stop telling yourself you'll be happy with a fishing boat just to be practical. Your unconscious works best when the target inspires you, not when it's a compromise. Step 2, step into the emotion of the end result. Feel it now before it exists in your physical reality. If you're aiming for 100K per month, what does it feel like to already have it now? What choices would you make? How would you carry yourself? When you live in that emotional state now, you're teaching your unconscious that this reality is normal and safe for you to have. Step 3 is create structural tension. So once you stepped into the emotion of the end result, now measure your current reality against that vision. That gap creates structural tension, and tension always seeks resolution. By holding this tension, you naturally start pulling in superconscious wisdom about the fastest, most aligned way to close that gap. Step 4, unplug and recode resistance. Now this is where most people quit, because your old identity will try to sabotage anything that feels unsafe or unfamiliar. That's why we use superconscious change work and the recode process to dissolve the old safety rules and remove resistance so that action can become effortless and not forced. And lastly, step 5, take aligned action. Either masculine action, planting seeds, making the calls, sending emails, doing the work, or feminine action, creating space, nurturing yourself, and letting ideas flow. You need both for momentum without burnout. I want you to imagine the difference for a second. You wake up and instead of forcing yourself to be motivated, you feel being pulled toward your goals because you almost know for a fact it already exists in the future. You start noticing opportunities you would have overlooked before. Making decisions feels easier and you stop second-guessing yourself. And that invisible force that used to hold you back is now pulling you forward. This isn't magic. It's simply what happens when your unconscious mind finally believes that your dream life is normal and safe for you to have. If you don't change your unconscious programming, you'll keep getting the same results, no matter how many books you read or how much harder you work. Next year will just be a replay of this year with maybe a slightly different background. But if you do this work, you'll finally stop fighting yourself. You will set a new baseline that automatically pulls you toward the life you actually want to live. If you're serious about achieving your goals, click the first link below in the description, watch the short video there, and book your free strategy session so we can unmap how I will personally guide you through the exact process to turn your mind into a loyal servant that delivers your dream life. Because the truth is, your unconscious will lead you somewhere. The choice is whether it's where you've already been or where you actually want to go.